When it comes to luxury SUVs, actually when it comes to luxury cars, Mercedes-Benz India has been absolutely killing it. They're the undisputed market leader, and this is the second generation of one of their most successful products. This is the second generation GLC, which is going to be launched very soon, in fact in August itself, in India in both petrol hybrid and diesel hybrid versions. How is it to drive? Does it feel luxurious enough? Is it an upgrade over the last generation car? Well, we are in gorgeous Hampi. Well, it's a UNESCO site, but it's also lovely weather, great views. We are here to drive it and tell you all about the GLC and if it's worth your time and money. We'll first have a look at the exterior design of the GLC before we get inside. And I would have to say, at first impressions, I think Mercedes has played it a bit safe with the design of the GLC. It's an evolution of how the older GLC was. It has more cues that ties in the Mercedes design look from the GLE, the GLS. You get a new grille, a big three-pointed star up front. There is a bit of chrome, but I think it's quite restrained. Of course, you have LED headlights. You get 19-inch wheels, which actually look quite good. The dual tone finish is quite fantastic. And here you can see with the haunches, it's a very look that you've seen, very familiar with the GLE, the GLS, the EQC, and I think it's quite decent. It's got two character lines, one in the front, one in the back. The tail lights are very reminiscent of how the GLE's tail lights are. You get the GLC 300 badging. 4MATIC, both versions of the GLC this time will be all-wheel drive. And I think overall it's a pretty good looking car. Could it have been a little more exciting, a little more adventurous in design? Yes, but if you're a Mercedes fan, if you like the design language, it's instantly recognizable, and I think it's inoffensive, so it'll please most people. If I mentioned that Mercedes has played it a bit safe with the exterior design of the GLC, well, with the interior, they've actually gone bold. Of course, if you've seen the bigger versions of their SUVs, the Maybachs, you will recognize some of the design cues. But I have to say, it's a really impressive cabin. The seats are fantastic. You get this carbon fiber style finish here on the console. The 11.9-inch vertical touchscreen that has all the controls that you need to control the car. You get the latest version, NTG7 of the MBUX. You get Hey Mercedes functionality, it has 3D maps, it offers you everything that you can think of, and there is even a Burmester sound system that actually sounds really, really good. But what is more impressive for me is the whole overall integration. The way the dash has leather, this beautiful inlaid wood, some of this aluminum elements, the air vents, all of this is done very, very well. You get another digital cluster that gives you all the information in front of you. You get all your touchscreen buttons on the steering wheel, and overall it feels like a really premium product. It's also bigger than before. So at 4.7 plus meters, it's pretty large. It's got an almost 2,900 mm wheelbase, 288 to be exact, and a 620-liter boot. So you get more space at the back, you get more space at the front, you get more boot space, you get additional practicality in a size that is still very, very usable in Indian urban conditions. So I think on all of those counts, Mercedes has done a really good job, and the interior really makes you feel like you're sitting in a proper luxury product, something that's absolutely cutting edge, and it does give you a sense of true luxury. How is it to drive? How's the hybrid system? Is it fast? How's the engine? How's the gearbox? Well, let's take it on the road and find out. So how does the GLC feel while you're sitting inside? Well, like I said earlier, I think it feels truly luxurious. Uh, Mercedes' designers and how they're integrating multimedia and finishing inside the car especially has been doing very well in the recent past, and the GLC is no different. It actually feels class leading and is quite pleasing to be inside the car. How does it drive? How is the hybrid powertrain? It's a 48-volt integrated starter generator that's integrated with the petrol engine. The diesel engine that will come at launch also gets the same, but we are only driving the petrol engine today. 2-liter turbocharged 258 bhp without the hybrid system. With the hybrid system, it adds another 23 bhp. More interestingly, uh, standard output, torque output of the engine is 400 Nm, which is added on another 50% by the hybrid system plus 200 Nm, so a total of 600 Nm when in overboost mode. And that means when you're flogging it, when you're really pushing on, 0 to 100 will come in 6.2 seconds. While you're driving in relaxed mode, the GLC feels normal. It feels absolutely fine. But put it into sport mode and stamp the throttle, and the car's truly quick. It's 3-digit speeds, like I said, 6.2 seconds. It's a joke, and you can sit at high 3-digit speeds all day. High speed stability, of course, is not a problem. It's absolutely rock on. The ride, I think, is a bit on the stiffer side. It also features larger 19-inch wheels that I showed you earlier. So that's obviously contributing to that. If there was one slightly disappointing aspect of the GLC for me, it would be that there's not too much feel through the steering, and in sport mode it gets a bit too heavy. So that is something that could definitely be improved. Something that is definitely improved over previous iterations is Mercedes' 9 G-tronic, their 9-speed automatic transmission. I think they've tuned it very well in the GLC, and it functions quite brilliantly. Especially in sport mode, it's absolutely in the right gear and you get instant acceleration everywhere. One thing which is a bit of a distraction for me is almost all controls are through this large touchscreen, which means I have to take my eyes off every time I need to do something. But I think this is just becoming the norm. The fashion is for large screens and there's not much that you can do about it. An interesting feature which I didn't think was going to be present in the GLC, it has a dedicated off-road mode. I can see all the readouts here, the tire temperatures, the tire pressures, the direction I'm taking, my altitude, my compass location. At slow speeds, you even get what Mercedes calls transparent bonnet, basically using the front camera. I mean, it has a 360-degree camera, of course. Using the front camera, the car actually shows you what's underneath the surface at slow speed off-roading that you're traveling, exactly where the wheels are pointing. So if you would like to take your GLC off-road, I don't know of anybody who does that, but it has the ability to do that. So that's quite interesting that Mercedes has given the 4MATIC and this transparent bonnet facility in the GLC. Sitting both front and rear is really good. Like I said, it's bigger than before, so there's enough space. But for the middle passenger in the rear, the transmission tunnel is still a bit of an issue. Lastly, honestly speaking, we don't know the pricing of the GLC. We will know that when it gets launched later this month. But as of now, unless it's exorbitantly priced, it feels like a real push up from the first generation GLC and probably one of the leading cars in its segment. We'll do a comparo later, so I won't comment on it right now. But it feels good, it feels luxurious. Okay, the exterior styling could have been a little more adventurous, but I mean, it looks like a proper Mercedes, so I don't think most people will complain. The space is great, it drives very well, it still remains a very usable size. The interior really pleases you. It's a real quality item, and I think other than a few small complaint points like slightly better steering or slightly softer ride, there's not much that I can complain about the GLC. It's a really good product, and like all virtually all other Mercedes products, I think this too is going to be sold out for the near future. That seems to be how well the brand is doing, and because the products are also improving the product. This GLC, what they offer now, is something that customers will really accept, and I think it's going to be another hit for the brand.